Evaluator Pauline Edwards and our fellow members, and especially our most welcome guests here today. We have so many. And finally, our newly minted competent communicator, CTM, whatever you want to call it, CC, project number 10, Nieves Aguirre. Thank you very much. I must correct myself, Aguilera. It's the double L's, I get confused with the single L's. Great job. You know, this was a distinct honor for me to evaluate your speech, Nieves. I've watched you grow and develop. I know of your great work in the community, and I appreciate all that you do. But also it's because it is your number 10 speech, which is a turning point in the development of any Toastmaster, because it does mean that you're essentially earning the bachelor's degree equivalent, if you will, of our Toastmasters training. What did we like about Nieves' speech today? First of all, it was a great concept or metaphor. The concept or metaphor, the visual metaphor of people climbing trees as children. Every one of us can relate to that. Either we did it, or we saw friends do it, or we wish we had done it, or we had siblings who fell out of trees, you name it. Everyone can relate to the idea or the concept of children climbing trees. But then what Nieves did was to take that metaphor and apply it to our adult realities. The way that we climb our own emotional trees to avoid life. We embrace distractions and other sorts of vices and maybe sense of position, of power, money, to avoid dealing with and grappling with life and the beauty and the joy as well as the tragedies of life. And this was really well done. The nice touches of humor, especially, it's funny, one of the speakers, it tells you something about the things that people remember, that when later in the meeting somebody mentioned about the guava, eating the guava, and the difficulty that it has with one's internal constitution. That was really well done, and I think it's something that people will remember as sort of a humorous thing. The way you dealt successfully, we might add, with the grief that you understandably experienced over the untimely, unexpected death of your husband was very powerful, and it was something that everyone could say, wow, if you can do that, if you can overcome grief and climb down your tree and engage life, well gosh, so can we. And a lot of us, let's face it, in various ways are avoiding life. We're not fully engaging sometimes with life. We try to lose ourselves in our work or other kinds of distractions. And then finally at the end you had a call to action where you gave sort of a step-by-step approach. Now this lady's in the medical field, she's a nurse, so naturally she's going to have a 5-point plan for how to deal with any kind of problem, because that's just for training in medicine. But it was very well done. Now, are there some suggestions for improvement? Yes, there are, just a few. The transition from the joke about the guava eating up in the tree to the death of your husband was rather sudden, and you sort of crept up on us. We weren't quite expecting that. You might have given us, you might have telegraphed your punches on that and let us know that that was coming. You might have used your notes a little more carefully. Don't worry about a text, word-by-word text. Rather, you might take some of your text, the transcript of your speech, and organize it into key phrases and that you can write down and then sort of refer to those various key phrases that jog your memory. Do this speech again. Practice it again. Not for Toastmasters, for heaven's sakes, but for outside, for community groups, for bereavement groups. I know all the churches, all of our parishes here in Brooklyn and Queens have bereavement groups and bereavement training. This would be a great speech that you might give to help train bereavement counselors, as well as to deliver at the various bereavement groups that all the churches organize to help the people deal with their grief. Great job, Nieves. So proud. Let's hear it again for our newest CC. And please welcome our general evaluator, past president,